My life up until I was 24 years old was really pretty, just felt like dusty and distant and numb and uncomfortable and confusing and just it was just kind of like crap, you know? It's how I felt that way at least. But I didn't even know that. I didn't have anything to compare it to. But I do remember very, very clearly opening the 3 pillars of Zen, you know, and filtering through, oh, this is how you do Zazen, this is how you sit. Like I didn't care about any of that. And then I saw this chapter and it's like these people talking about going through this profound transformation. And that's exactly what I felt. I was like, whoa, like that, there was something in that book physically and in this body physically that was connecting and stretching beyond lifetimes. Like I was like, yeah, I've been there. I've been that person and that teacher and that Roshi and like on and on and on and multiple sequential lifetimes in every direction, you know, like, oh shit, okay, this is where I'm going, you know, that has that like aliveness to it. And I sense that in people who find the YouTube channel too and say like, you know, not everybody. I think a lot of people sense something or they wouldn't be watching it because it's pretty direct. But some people very much like that. They're like, oh yeah, I knew immediately when I saw this what this is. I know what this message is. I never heard it in my life, but I've heard it now and now I know, and this is my orientation. And you know, that's the Dharma wheel turning. How it turns, it's so mysterious. Where you'll bump into someone who can transmit to you. You know, for me, the first time I remember it was when I was like in a college class. It was just a guest lecturer happened to say something to me. But he transmitted for sure. And he knew he was doing it. So yeah, all of us have that moment, probably multiple moments like that. But also they're not moments. All the time and space and stories and bodies and lifetimes, it's like the hand on the wall and the flashlight shining through the things to make like an image on the wall. Like, but what's happening back here is we can't really talk about it, but that's what it's all about. And we live our relative lives. We all have quite different lives in here, actually. But there's that we clearly share an interest in. Everyone shares everything that walks and crawls and breathes and does not breathe shares it, of course. But we share a knowing interest in it. That's why we're here together. But yeah, in the relative, our lives all look very different. You can't distinguish enlightenment from like unenlightenment anymore. Like you really can't. I can't really look at somebody and go, they're not enlightened. But people will ask me like, do you think I've had this happen or that? And to me, it's like, you're just empty. You're an empty shell. But what's happening in the mind, we can talk about that. But even that's not referring to anything. And I already know that. So awake, asleep, enlightened, not enlightened, that's not really, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. One of the things I see sometimes, people who are, I would say, pretty deeply realized, but I can still feel a little attachment there. They attach to the specialness of spirituality itself, however that flavor is for them. It could be Buddhism, it could be whatever it is, but there's like a little sweetness to it, like a little bit of a romanticism of, I'm going to get somewhere, you know? And that, even that's got to go. All of it does go away. All of the spiritual journey, the sweetness of that, the sense of the specialness of self, and all of it it really does sort of go away. It was seen to be an illusion, never actually there. At the same time, again, the love of appearance, the love intrinsic to experiencing, appearancing, presencing is beyond what can be experienced when that self-structure is in the way, for sure. Even like on a personal level, like the love I have for the dog is beyond anything that could have been before. But it's also not really personal, but it's radically personal. So it's paradoxical, but the challenge you have now, the challenge before you is to give yourself so fully and die again and again and again into every moment, just as it is, completely unique, but it can give you nothing. You can't take anything from it anymore. That's your challenge.